The Senate Committee on Power has initiated an investigative hearing on the recent hikes in electricity tariffs in 11 states, signaling a critical evaluation of energy pricing policies and widespread public discontent. According to the committee chairman, Senator Eyinnaya Ababribe, the investigative hearing was hinged on two motions presented at plenary on Tuesday, July 25th, 2023 and Wednesday, February 21st, 2024, where the Senate, by its resolutions, mandated the Committee on Power to engage with the Federal Ministry of Power, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, and other stakeholders.
The investigative hearing, which took place at the Senate wing of the National Assembly in Abuja on Monday, stated that the mandate of the committee was to find lasting solutions to the challenges facing the Nigerian electricity sector, including the need for comprehensive sector reforms. Lawmakers, however, declared that the Senate will punish anyone or agency it found culpable of inflicting pain on ordinary citizens of the country. Joining us to discuss this further is Okoliko Ojonugwa, a public affairs analyst and a lecturer in the Department of Business Administration, National Open University of Nigeria. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Do you have any faith in the outcome of this investigative hearing?
Well, talking about faith, it is not news anymore to the man on the streets, even to a child who is in primary school now, that we celebrate a lot of procedures, a lot of processes. We celebrate sessions and workshops and all of that in our climb so much. The problem has always been, the issue is the correlation between the sessions, the so-called public hearings, and the expected outcome. I do not have faith in whatever conversation that is coming up right now. I would rather wait to see things manifest or see things unfold, because it is not first time. It will be so insensitive of me, or I would say it is unintelligent to believe the same man who did the same thing over and over to you, and then at a point he comes up again with the same ploy or the same gimmick, and you rush to swallow it hook, line, and sinker. And so it's what we have gone through. We have gone through these phases over and over. We're here in this country, this same country, where a CBN governor, without consultations, without negotiations, without any form of explanations, broke all bureaucratic, moral, legal procedures and established laws that we know, to roll out, announce some new Naira notes policy. And the untold hardship that brought on Nigerians, who had to, at the point, we had to spend about 2,000 Naira to buy 5,000 Naira, to get 5,000 Naira here, notes. But at the end of the merry-go-round, at the end of all the noise, from the various portals and all of that, National Assembly, from those who claim to represent us, from the masses, from all the social from activism and all of that we had at that time. At the end of the day, from the merry-go-round, we had the macabre dance. We are here today. The same CBN governor is in detention as we speak. The elites who were hired at that time, speaking grammar on television and radio and all the various media, are nowhere to be found today. We're in defense of those policies, and we're back to square one. And today we'll get to investigate the same policy. So the sincerity, we have lost faith. We see more of manifestation of failure of leadership. We have impunity. Impunity has characterized the activities of government where we come from and our climb, so much so that we have all lost faith. We have leadership where the leader finds very easy to take from the people, but to give to the people is so difficult. He takes the fish from the people. He prepares the fish, he eats the flesh, he gives the bone to the people, and when the people want to complain, he hires people who would come from the same masses, who would convince them with grammar and all forms of rhetorics why calcium is very important to them. And calcium is contained in the bones that they are serving them.
Yeah,
So we have a lot of inhumanity of man to fellow man that makes us lose faith.
yeah,
It is,
I'm sure you're not the only one. I'm sure you're not the only one who feels, this way about, this hearing or any other hearing that will be held with the Senate. The National Assembly hasn't proven itself to totally represent, Nigerians and their interests. But I also want your thoughts on Adebayo Adelabo, who's the current Minister for Power. He has come under heavy criticism as to whether he is really able to handle the responsibilities that are set before him as Minister for Power. Do you believe that, things are way beyond his control? And, regardless of what he tries, none of these things would work? Or do you have faith, in his abilities as minister?
I have no faith. I said that before, and I want to reiterate. You see, the system, we have a systemic wrong. We have a system where the man, the Minister of Power, is acting a script. He's playing by a particular script. He has a master who has asked him to make announcements, make pronouncements. He is not making the announcements on the basis of competence, on the basis of capacity, on the basis of ability, and on the basis of sincerity to deliver. Let us take our minds away from the grammar, the rhetorics, the whatever, because we've had it over and over. The issue, where we have the issue here, is the fact that the executive arm seems to be the dominating and domineering arm, and seem to be the only active arm. The legislature is gone, the judiciary is gone completely, swallowed up by the executive. And that is why we cannot sit here and begin to talk about faith in whatever we get from the executive. The National Assembly, good to hear that they are now calling the Minister of Power, calling the executive to order. But to a large extent, we are quick to agree that the National Assembly is only seeking public appeal. Just like you remarked, you just mentioned now that they have to live up to their responsibilities. They have to make people feel, it's all about make-believe, make people feel that they're actually representatives of the people. But in all sincerity, any hike in price at this time, where food inflation is over 40% as we speak, brought upon us by the same system, the same executive arm, who were very quick to announce removal of subsidy, floating of the exchange rate, and brought all sort of trouble on us, who are now grappling with the realities that this brought to the multiplier effect of all of this, which were not considered. But you can see that to increase minimum wage from 30,000 naira has been a matter of discussions and here and there. 30,000 naira today with the exchange rate is just about $22 right now. And irrespective of all the people who go through, we were here in the same country where the National Assembly, while they were telling us to be patient, we're busy sending prayers to their emails. And you ask me about faith. I have no faith in the Minister of Power. I have no confidence in it. Look at the timing, for instance. Is it now? It's wise. It's fine. It's in order to say, government, back off completely. Let private investors come in. But the grammar, the rhetorics they give to us, is there a match between the explanations, the expectations, and what we get eventually? So if you say, okay, government, take off your hands, remove subsidy in the power sector, fine, but not at this time. Look at the timing.
Yeah. What would have been a better timing?
It's our thing to combine, to mix politics with business, and that's where the issue is. Imagine the classification of people into different bands. For instance, one band who can afford, to pay, who have uninterrupted electricity. Then those who cannot pay, who have darkness at the end of the day. But eventually, who pays the bills? These so-called manufacturing industries, these so-called industrial whatever, still have human beings living around them, still have consumers who are going to be at the receiving end. So this cost is going to be transferred to the ordinary Nigerians who they represent. And in fact, is that classification not even discriminatory? Is that constitutional? Well, I've not seen any part of our constitution that says one part should be favored at the expense of the other. All of this, I am pained, I'm sad, and like you say, all of us are sad. But we are, what is more amazing is the fact that the National Assembly, who is supposed to do due diligence, call these people to order, have become more of a toothless bulldog. And whatever I see, as far as I'm concerned, as a Nigerian, my personal opinion, which I stand to defend any time, is that it is only a decoy, to convince the people that we are representing them. That is what the National Assembly is just doing. And for the executive, it is all about meeting the goals that are heinous, that you and I are not exposed to. When they were printing Naira here, they didn't tell us. When they were so when they turn out policies, what they tell us is completely different from what the original, the actual end in real terms is. So I have no faith in the ability to deliver.
I'm sure a lot of people, share similar thoughts, concerning this. They have, of course, in the last couple of days, invited the Minister for Power to a Senate hearing. Of course, they're also speaking about inviting the NERC to also speak with regards where we currently are, and what steps is to be taken moving forward. The Ministry of Power itself, and of course the Tinubu administration. I have questioned initially a couple of days or weeks ago. I questioned KPIs, and these ministries, the government itself, setting KPIs for itself with regards to electricity. KPIs that should tell us that, okay, this is where we hope to be by 2027. This is where we hope to be by 2025 at least. We want to be able to set up electricity generation or electricity distribution infrastructure to improve on where we are.
Exactly.
But do you sense, that there are any of these KPIs being set that they would improve on the infrastructure with regards generation or distribution or transmission to enable us to maybe by somehow, way, shape, or form hit 15,000, 20,000 megawatts of electricity by 2027 or 2030? Is this what you would expect from a ministry at this time?
Now, what we expect, the way I'll have issue is about the timing. This obviously is not the right time to unveil such policies. But government has proven that it has no capacity to do business in the power sector, in such a critical sector as the power sector. And so what is necessary, what is needful at the moment, considering timing in terms of implementation, like I emphasized, is to sell off these facilities. But the modality, sell to who? Because when some of the facilities were sold the other time, in terms of distribution, they were sold to persons that came under heavy criticisms, whether they were the right persons to buy, whether they were sold to the right investors who were actually interested in doing business. So it is instructive that government have to back off completely, sell off completely. But the modus operandi, the mode of this sale, the mode of this transaction must be pro-people. Government must supervise this with sincerity of humanity, government must be human and humane in implementing all of this. Like I emphasized, the problem is faith, whether they are sincere. But I agree that the model is just, there is no argument that government have to back off completely. Back off, let serious-minded investors come into it, and then you see things turn around. Right now, the so-called regulation is not partial regulation. It's not working, because no businessman will want to come in, and as he wants to distribute, something happens with transmission, national grid breaks down. He's under the control of government. He has no control over that. And you want a serious businessman to come, and generation, transmission, distribution, all of that has to be left in the hands of serious private investors who push in resources, and then you will see things turn around. Power is sensitive, but the timing, not at this time. Government as a result of its sensitivity, as a result of policy somersault, as a result of insincerity and insensitivity and irresponsiveness to the yearnings of the people, lack of leadership, lack of that ability to prioritize the yearnings of the led has brought us to where we are, and we are grappling with these realities right now. And so it's not the time to say government back off. Government should see what they can do at the moment, right now. But going forward, when the ships are down, when the people begin to get messages of warmth, government should back off completely, sell off these facilities with sincerity of business and investment, not this noise.
Mr. Okoliko Ojonugwa, thank you very much for joining us this morning and sharing your thoughts with us. We do hope to see better days in our power sector, and we'll of course be following up with the investigative hearing by the Senate.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for your time.